Welcome everyone to another awesome episode of Wine, Hops, and Road Stops on location at the Beer Stop in West Hazleton with my co-host Alan. How you doing today?
It's great. We're getting into the fall warm weather or cold weather.
It's actually warm out today.
I know.
For November 1st.
I know, it's in the 60s.
But what are we doing today?
Well, we're going to go with the fall beer. So we're going to go with a couple of seasonals and then my favorite drinking season, dark beer drinking time, porters and stouts.
Right, because in the winter you want something a little bit thicker, a little bit warmer to warm your body up.
You know, when you kind of drink, you want to get that nice little, kind of.
I like that. I like that idea. And so that's what we got today. We got stouts, we got porters, we got all kind of stuff. New beers from a couple of breweries, right? Let's talk about that.
A couple of new ones. We got some new ones from Trogs. They came out with a new one, which I haven't tried as of yet. It's a double IPA. I got Founders. We threw one of those in for that nice alcohol burn. This is aged in rum barrels.
Oh, right.
And I've never had a rum barrel aged beer before, so I'm looking forward to that.
Pennsylvania Tuxedo?
Pennsylvania Tuxedo, yep. I guess getting the Pennsylvania spruce tips for their beer is a little bit too difficult, which unfortunately this is the last year they're going to make it. But fortunately, I just put about 12 cases away in my basement, so we're going to age them and have them for a couple of years.
So you will have them at the Beer Stop.
Yes, because I love that beer. That's a great beer.
It is a great beer,
and
we'll get to that a little bit later. But first, now we were just talking about a bunch of breweries from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Nice segue into this next segment, which is about a movie that's being made about, or has been made about, the breweries in Pennsylvania called Poured in PA. From America's oldest brewery to tap rooms changing the landscape of small towns across the Commonwealth, the movie Poured in PA illustrates the importance of this newly redeveloped beer industry and its impact on Pennsylvania. The documentary crews interviewed brewers, owners, and industry professionals and talked about Pennsylvania's craft beer. Now, we got a screener copy of this. We checked it out. I think it's an awesome, awesome movie all about our beer, our state, Pennsylvania brewers, including Dick Yuengling.
Well, I mean, you can't start with beer in Pennsylvania without talking about Dick Yuengling.
That's true.
You know, the oldest brewery in the country, and at least in Pennsylvania, one of the top selling beers of their lager.
So if you want to know about the craft beer industry, how it started in Pennsylvania, this is a great film to see. You can check it out at pouredinpa.com. There's a listing of places where it's being shown right now. It really got in deep on the craft beer explosion in Pennsylvania.
It's a good guy's night out.
So in honor of this beer documentary, we thought we'd check out 5 movies. 5 movies, in no order though, but 5 movies that have beer as their central plot point. Start off with The World's End, which is a British sci-fi comedy about an epic pub crawl. It's with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg.
Very funny.
And and we were talking about this before. It's really similar to another movie that you like.
Their zombie movie.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead. Except this is a pub crawl, and we'll give an honorary mention to Shaun of the Dead, too.
Absolutely, yeah. They keep going, they can't come up with what to do, so they go to the pub.
Right. The World's End is about a pub crawl and robots.
Yep.
It's kind of weird, but it's interesting. And there's beer in it, so that's good.
Yep.
Next up, we have Dazed and Confused, which is a coming-of-age film following a group of teenagers celebrating the last day of high school in 1976. Now, I said this reminds me a lot of Hazleton because the styles are really the same, even though when I went to high school, kind of looked like I still was in 1976 with the long hair and the mustache, driving around listening to Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. Not much has changed. And in the movie,
still doing that.
Yeah, and in the movie they go out to the woods at the end to have a big barrel.
We go out to the strip-ins to have barrels. Not much different.
Well, we don't really do that now. Well, I miss those days, actually. I got to be honest.
Standing around with this is great. It's 20 degrees out.
Yeah, I miss it. Well, light a fire. You got to light a fire. Next up, of course, we have the classic Smokey and the Bandits.
They're classic.
Now, remember, in 1977, it was illegal to sell Coors beer east of the Mississippi without a permit. So the Bandit is hired to run a tractor-trailer full of beer over state lines. And in hot pursuit is a pesky sheriff.
It's just such an odd concept that it's illegal to sell beer across a line in the country. I mean, it just makes no sense whatsoever.
I guess the 70s were a weird time.
Yeah.
I guess so. And hey, thumbs up for Burt Reynolds. I mean, great actor, beautiful mustache. Smokey the Bandit is a fantastic movie.
It's just good as today as it was, 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's easy to watch even today.
Next up, we have Strange Brew. Right from the Great White North, Bob and Doug McKenzie. They uncover a sinister mind control plot spearheaded by the brewmeister of a local brewery. If that sounds weird,
Well, I heard it was set in reality, actually. It's based on a true story.
Up in Canada, that's
Yes.
what they do up there, I guess. I love this movie.
Have 2 or 3 beers first and then watch the movie. Helps.
And there are drinking games that go along with all these movies
Yeah.
too, but we'll get to that maybe another show. And finally, we have Beer Fest. 2 Americans happened upon a secret century-old beer games competition during their visit to Oktoberfest in Germany. So sounds like what you did, right?
Yeah.
When you went over there.
Interesting, when we looked up a little bit about Beer Fest, they didn't drink any beer on Beer Fest. It was all non-alcoholic beer. And when they wanted to have dark beers, they added Coke and beer together.
I can understand that. I mean,
So-
you know,
No, Dazed and Confused, everyone who wasn't underage, they drank beer.
figures.
So I guess it's just a director's decision.
Yeah, well, you know, I can understand that. Richard Linklater, the director of Dazed and Confused, I guess he wanted more realism. All right,
Good
all
job
right,
if you
all
can get
right.
it.
Yeah. You got to see it. You haven't seen.
I have
seen
not.
the movie.
I haven't.
It will remind you of your high school years.
Okay.
I think it will. It should. Did you drive a Mustang?
Firebird. Hey, one of the big eagle on the hood like Burt Reynolds.
I can understand it.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, guys, when we come back, we're going to sample some stouts, we're going to sample some porters, some beers to keep you warm this winter. So don't go away. There's more Wine Hops and Road Stops when we come back. Welcome back to Wine Hops and Road Stops, shot on location at the Beer Stop in West Hazleton. If you like what you see, do you have any questions or just want to communicate with us? Best way to get in touch with us. Facebook.com/Wine Hops and Road Stops. And now, we're going to sample some beers. What do we have first off? What do we got going
We're
on?
going to start from a new one from Trogs Brewing Company. Gotta love everything from Trogs.
Well, so far, so good.
Yes, this is their Golden Thing. It's a dry hop double IPA.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
8.5% alcohol.
We're starting big.
Yep.
There's a nice nose on it.
I mean, that's kind of really impressive, that 8.5% alcohol. And you do not, I mean, this is really easy drinking.
Again, I'm going to say, this is dangerous.
That's
There's
very
really
dangerous.
no alcohol burn to it.
None.
A nice fruity taste to it on the back end.
You're getting much more of the citrus than you are getting the hops. This is not, I would call, a big hophead beer, even though it's a double.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something about Trogs.
Yeah.
These guys have yet to let me down. That's an excellent beer. A+. And
Yeah.
this is called
Golden
Thing.
Yep.
I'm going to see a lot more of you, I think.
Unfortunately, it is a seasonal, so here today, gone tomorrow. Hopefully, they'll continue it next year.
Get them while you can.
Yep. Now, this is from Founders, one of my favorite companies as well.
This is called the Barrel Runner.
Yep.
And this reminds me a lot of last episode we went to Lake Wallenpaupack Brewing Company. They had a rum beer too.
Okay.
So this is very similar to that.
Wow, I mean, that drinks more like rum than it does beer.
There's
That's-
a lot of
There's
heavy on the rum
Wow.
there. Now the smell, not as much. So I'm smelling it and I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be just a little hint of rum, but man, it whacks you.
And you even get that really strong burn on the way down. Wow. Yeah. Well, at 22 proof, you're starting to drink more like schnapps than you are beer. So, all right, this is the last of the Pennsylvania Tuxedo by Dogfish.
I've had this one before, and I've liked it. I always liked it.
All right, so this reminds me of kind of like something they would make in colonial days.
Okay.
They go out, you know, they don't have access to all the wheat and barley and everything of all over the world. You see some trees outside, hey, let's make a beer.
So this is made with some spruce.
Spruce tip, Pennsylvania spruce tips.
Okay. You can really smell the spruce in it too. So if you're put off by that, it may not be the beer for you. But personally, I like it. I like that smell. It feels like Christmas.
Next is one that everybody's been excited for, Dunkin' Donuts' first foray into beer.
Oh, wow.
Made through Harpoon. This is the Dunkin' Coffee Porter.
I've had this one before, just a sip, because my wife got a bottle of this and she loves it. So I only got a sip. So just a little sip.
Nice, it still drinks like a porter, so it's not quite as heavy.
Right.
A little lighter on the palate. Lots of coffee. And it's definitely a porter style before you get into the heavier stouts.
Well, I'll say this about it. There's a nice balance there, and it's better than expected. I'm going to give it that. I'm going to give it that.
Yeah, a lot of times when they come up with these gimmicks, they came up with the gimmick because it wasn't a very good beer.
Right.
You know, so but
right.
no,
So
this
let's
one's
stick a
nice.
label on it. Right.
Yeah.
That's not what this is. This is
No.
this is a pretty good beer.
No. Now I know we've done this one before, but I just couldn't help but put it in. This is Lancaster from Pennsylvania. They're double chocolate milk stout, and it's a milkshake in a glass.
It's a great beer for the colder, wintry
Yes.
months.
Yep. It's a milk stout, so it's not quite as heavy as the stout. Just great chocolate flavors, creamy, rich.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
As far as the stouts go.
Correct. Yeah,
the
it never.
chocolate stouts.
Yeah, it never ceases. Every year, just comes better and better every year.
And again, it was another one we reviewed before a few
Yep.
times,
Yep.
actually.
Mhm. Yep. So now this is just a straight milk stout from our friends at the Duck Rabbit. And this one is a little easier to see the rabbit or the
Yes,
duck.
okay.
But probably once now that you've seen it, you can see both.
All I can see is the duck now. Now, we had their beer last episode. We had the
Last year was
Oktoberfest.
their Oktoberfest, correct?
Yeah, last episode was the
Yeah.
Oktoberfest, so this is just a regular stout by them.
This is their milk stout. So again, just kind of building up, not quite a chocolate milk stout.
So the difference between a milk stout and a regular stout is,
The milk stout is just kind of halfway in between a porter and a stout.
so it's a little bit creamier though.
A little creamier, a little bit extra malts in it. Not quite as much fermenting time. So the fermenting time doesn't give you the fullness of the flavor.
Okay.
But again, just a really nice solid beer. This would really be good like a good dessert beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm thinking chocolate cake,
Yep.
pumpkin pie.
Yep.
What?
And then last one is an oatmeal stout from Rogue.
Okay. I'm checking out the nose on this. I don't really smell. It's not overbearing.
No, no. The oatmeal tends to cut a little bit of the harshness of the beers out.
But it's there. It's nice flavor to it. Not a lot of smell. The nose is barely there.
But you can tell it's a little bit more of a beer, a little bit heavier, a little bit more of everything in the beer than over the porters and milk stouts.
When we come back, we're going to take a road stop to the Avenue restaurant in Wyoming. So don't go away. There's more wine, hops, and road stops. We'll be right back. Today, our road stop takes us to the Avenue in Wyoming, and I am sitting here with the owner, Dave. Dave, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Fantastic. Let's talk about this place. Let's start from the beginning. How did you get involved with the Avenue?
Well, I've been in the restaurant business since I was 18. I learned a lot through the years, so I decided to venture off and work in a restaurant, and I was here at this location for 14 years. Recently, we just bought the location, took it over, did some remodeling, some updating to it, made it a little unique in looks here.
Up front is the diner part, and it still looks like a diner without being overly retro. Has a nice little modern feel to it, but still the diner feel too, which is really nice.
It is. You know, a lot of the younger generation likes coming here, and a lot of the older generation. It's a location that's made for a little bit of everybody, not just the younger crowd or anything like that. So what we also have is our back dining room that we could do a lot of catered events. We could do baby showers, after funeral meals. We could do small weddings, birthday parties, just about anything. So we're just a little bit more than your ordinary diner.
Ordinary diner? I think not. Let's talk about the food. The Avenue boasts some impressive portions, all at great prices. On Tuesdays, check out this breakfast. That's only $3.99. Thursdays, look at that prime rib, $15.95. Any day of the week, this huge open-faced turkey sandwich, just $11.95. And check out this lobster, Wednesdays and Friday nights, just $16.95. And let me tell you, it tastes just as good as it looks. Fantastic. Now for me, portions really can't be too big, can they?
The pancakes were so big, they were as big as that plate when they first started out. I said I couldn't eat all of them. So I told them, I said, you're going to have to make either smaller pancakes or stack them, because I couldn't eat all the pancakes. And the same with all their portions. The portions are rather large.
Large portions and friendly service keeps customers like Ralph Edwards coming back all the time.
The bottom line is that the proportions of the food, the size of it, the waitresses, the staff, everybody, this is the place to go. The food has always been excellent. The food is the same as the large restaurant. As a matter of fact, I trust this food more than I would some large chains. They've come up with some ham and Cooper, some combinations that you wouldn't ordinarily see in a restaurant. So it isn't just a ham sandwich, but Dave usually comes up with the combinations that are really good.
The Avenue has had its share of famous guests walk through the doors to sample some of the great food.
So another famous thing that we have is, at the time, President-elect Obama stopped in here with a 20-minute notice that he was coming into the building.
How'd that go?
Oh, when I tell you crazy, it was crazy. We didn't believe the story at first. The gentleman said that we were going to be on TV, and of course we laughed, we joked, and everything else. And shortly, Secret Service started taking over the building, and from then on, it's all history. You know, he overtook the room when he walked in, and you know, it's history. It's not many locations could say that they have a president that walked into their building.
So I gotta ask, when he came here, what did he have?
He had a piece of pie.
I heard it was so good that he took some home with him.
Yes, he did. He took the pie home with him. He even took the fork.
So he must have enjoyed his stay at the Avenue.
Yes, he did. And then we didn't stop there. We also had Diane Sawyer stop in. She was doing a segment in the area, and she asked if she could come in and film the segment here. You never know who's going to be here next, so it's always great to meet me at the Ave.
And even though they recently remodeled the restaurant to improve the dining experience, removing all the old stools, they didn't replace one. And that stool has a significance because it's the stool that both President Obama and Diane Sawyer sat on when visiting the Avenue. The Avenue is also taking advantage of the latest technology to satisfy their customers' needs. Now, you can download the Avenue app and check out all it has to offer.
With the app, you could get some money-saving ideas on it. You could see my menu. You could do online ordering. You could give your phone off to your kid, and there's some kids' games on it that they could play while they're here at the Avenue. It's a way that we could stay in communication with you at all times.
And as the holidays draw near, the Avenue has something special planned for busy families who may not be able to cook a large holiday dinner.
Upcoming, we do a Thanksgiving takeout meal. It's $13.95 a person. What we include with that is turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, corn, gravy, cranberry sauce, and we didn't forget about the pumpkin pie.
Oh, we can't forget about the pumpkin pie.
No. So you could order that as a single, or you could order it as a group of 10, 20, 30, however big your family is. Let us do the cooking, we'll leave the partying up to you.
Now you also do some events here. You got Elvis here.
Yes.
Let's talk about Elvis.
We have Elvis come in once a month. He plays a Monday every month. It's always listed on what Monday he's playing. In addition to that, on Wednesday nights, we have a saxophone player that comes back here and plays. And even on Friday nights during dinner, we have a harp player playing.
Oh, that's great. You get some music while you're having dinner.
Yep.
Can't beat that.
Nope, and it's a BYOB establishment. If you want to bring your own, you're more than welcome to.
Take your wine, take your beer, come here to the Avenue and have a great dinner. And maybe even see Elvis.
That's right. We open up at 7 a.m. and we close at 10 p.m. every day.
Every day, 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Good food, good atmosphere here at the Avenue. And that is our road stop for this episode. Today we have a bonus road stop for you. It's Bill's old bike barn on Route 11 in Bloomsburg. Recently the WYLN TV crew visited this place for a travel show off the beaten path. We showcased all the antique motorcycles and history that Bill Morris has been collecting for many years. One such part of what he calls Billville is the beer store, and we needed to save that part for our show.
This is our little beer store. Billville has to have a beer store. Our beer cooler was actually 1936, and it was they were blood plasma containers for the military, and they had like little Lazy Susans. So they made these from 1936 to 1944 as blood plasma containers. Then the military stopped using them, and as you'll notice, it says Bevador on it. If you have a Bevador, that's a beer, that's the blood plasma container. And in 1945, they started making them for the bars, and it said Beerador. So I got some great Pabst signs, and we decked it all out with you know, making it real cool. And it wasn't hard to get my friends to help me because we had to drink all these before we did it.
As you can see, Bill's Old Bike Barn is more than just bikes. It's a trip back to a simpler time and a snapshot of history.
I don't know, it just keeps getting better and better the more we go, and as far as the town, when it first started out there, it just seems like as you go down the street, it just keeps getting better and better, almost like a fireworks going on for a couple hours, and then you get to the end of the street and wow, this is the grand finale. I'm trying to kind of make it so that these young kids, when they walk in, they're going to their grandfather's house, say, you know, they're going back in time. And so many of the people that already did live this, and now they're living in the new time, and they walk down through Billville and they're just saying, I think it was a better time when it was like this.
Bill's Old Bike Barn is located on Route 11, 7145 Columbia Boulevard in Bloomsburg. They're open Thursday and Friday from 10 to 6, Saturday 9:30 to 3, Sunday 1 to 5, and it's only $5. Come on, get out of the house and go check out Bill's Old Bike Barn. That is all the time we have on Wine Hops and Road Stops for this episode. Check us out, facebook.com/Wine Hops and Road Stops. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to talk to us about, easiest way to get to us is right there. So Alan, before we go, let's talk about some new stuff here at the Beer Stop.
Al, it's like getting colder out there, so it's stout and porter season, my favorite time of year. Every week we're probably getting 30 or 40 new different stouts and porters in right now. We've kind of phased out from the pumpkins and the Oktoberfest, and now into the good heavy drinking beers.
No more to say about that other than life is too short to have bad beer. Drink a good beer and get it from the Beer Stop. We'll see you next time on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops.
Cheers.
There we go. And we're done. That's about it.
That really is an impressive one, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm really, well, yeah, again, it's Stroh's. I really like
They're
everything
using
they do.
Pilsner, Vienna, and wheat malts. Which is kind of,
Oh, they even put
And
the
ba-
yeast on it too.
yeah.
Even though
And the
that
hops-
means nothing to me.
And there's a lemon drop pop. Never heard of that one before.
No, never heard of that.
But that really drinks light.
Yeah.
For a quote-unquote double IPA at 8%.
Oh God, yeah. It's like that Lord Hobo Glorious that we had.
Yeah.
That it says it's a pale ale. It drinks like a
Yeah.
real heavy, well not heavy, but a real,
Stout, yeah.
A real
this I
IPA.
think is a double IPA that drinks more like a pale ale even.
yeah. Very good.
Because you're not really getting